My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. It is currently Monday, August 26, 2024, capturing video of the light source, which is in the same position it was yesterday morning, August 25th at 7:20 in the morning. So you have approximately a little under 2 hours later. And the light source is in the same position outside in alignment with my person of the entrance doors of the same address, which is evidence of stationary, stagnated presence of a light source, the fake sun as appropriately referred to, and not the sun, not the natural environment. Neither is anything that's happening in that environment natural or lawful. Okay, so I'm capturing that video at 9 in the morning at 9750 KeyPoINTE in Hesperia, and I'm showing you all of the evidence of demons. I'm showing you the evidence of stalking by a community. It's group stalking by the state in San Bernardino County. And I want to make sure I specifically point out the iteration of the P.O.C. that you see on that video. The entity flies over my head by airplane. The fake sun is over my head at the same address. This is all manner of terrorism and how a domestic terrorist is going to be prosecuted. You will see a Caucasian, heavy-set female engaging in surveillance in the parking lot and a Colorado license plate. She's driving by while the demon that's engaging in terrorism hurriedly crossing path to go in and criminally monitor me by just walking into the lobby of Holiday Inn to engage in group stalking. And while they are both at the same time driving by, which is demonic pacing, that's terrorism, the entity flies over my head, which is demonic pacing with the people on the ground under the fake sun and in engineered light. That totality of that scene and that course of conduct in sync with one another, they're all going to federal prison for that. And that's what's captured on video at Holiday Inn. So I just want to be clear, it's the black navigator. It's the third party that is the heavy-set, she looks like an aged, heavy-set female with a Colorado license plate. And it's clearly documented. And you can see all the evidence that's going to be published to the Google Drive. And I will include the link in the description of this podcast so that you can see it well before I publish it to YouTube. Everything that's going on the internet is evidence. So this is, again, for educational purposes, but it's also for prosecutorial purposes. The state of California is in real time being exposed and prosecuted, okay, for threatening my life, conspiring to murder and kidnap me. They have actually kidnapped me many, many times, and I have never committed any crimes that would provide them any jurisdiction whatsoever because they're engaged in criminal surveillance, but also because I didn't actually commit any crimes. So the entity is engaging in a pattern of conduct, and I want to make sure that I'm stressing what I stated in that video is what they're going to federal prison. Pacing around me and the entity flying over my head by helicopter, that's the terrorizing pattern of conduct. The entity does that, many iterations of the same exact thing in their circus environment. That's designed to psychologically torture. That's designed to cause people to question whether they should live anymore. The entity is doing this over and over and over again all day long. And as you have seen and witnessed and are now aware of, the truly mentally ill population, while there's an intentionally created narrative regarding what mental illness is, this is mental illness, and it's by your neighbors. They surround you. They're demon possessed. And that's a mental illness as you're looking at their pattern of conduct and their mental illness based on their knowledge and what they continuously engage in and the decisions that they choose moment by moment. That's mental illness. Okay. And it's mental illness, which is revealing a psychopaths. Not one that does not or is ignorant about the propriety, about the legality, about the normalcy, about how offensive it is or how threatening it is to another. Oh, no, they know all of that. That's why it's underway and a means of what is supposed to be a secret, and a means whereby it's supposed to falsely depict the one alleging that strangers are stalking, because that's what the ordinary person, the unsophisticated targeted individual would claim, and they are reasonably and correctly claiming it. That's actually what's happening. That's literally what's happening. All right, that's what group stalking is. So anyway, I'm capturing that on video, and the entity is engaged in this pattern of conduct. And that iteration of the P.O.C. captured in that video today, August 26, 2024, they're going to federal prison for that. I'm going to document the people of the state. 6 VOE 606, 9 CVC 425, 5 USD 663, 47345 T2. 8 YTE 941, 8 ME 7943, that's Washington. And you are looking also at video of the impunity that demons that are engaging in the pattern of conduct here at the venue, because you're not merely emptying the garbage, you're engaging in audible activity and light activity creation, and your intent to do so is literally the evidence of your facilitating behavior in that specific environment. There's the mental illness of one that is welcoming federal prison, because that's exactly what you see housekeeping engaging in. 3LDZ 783, 7TEZ 899, trying to cover up their license plate while group stalking. It's pathetic. And license 6TVN 420, 7YOU 461, DB3ZU04. That's a paper plate. And the same Winco truck. It's parked in the parking lot. Never mind the details that the entity listens to me describe, and then they focus on what it is it's really pathetic what the entity does. 4XOA554. And again, it's pathetic to engage in group stalking and then to be caught engaging in this massive system of stalking somebody. And then you have a whole system of conditioning your mind, having you idolize people who are celebrities in the flesh. Actually, the targeted individual is a celebrity. This is the one that is actually being idolized and focused on and worshipped, literally stalked by a population, and then you're celebrating those who are on your television. You're watching them on BET and on MTV, and those are the ones you're directed. Let me be clear. This is the one that this world is conditioning you to give attention to, while they are secretly targeting others who are actually the object of their affection, the object of their obsession. All right, YAKE 663. That's the Winco truck, the license plate in the parking lot. While the fake sun moves over me around this parking lot, which I'm going to capture pictures of because this is the position that it's at 3 in the afternoon, when the entity keeps the fake sun as though at 10 hours from now, 8 hours from now, the sun is in a position where now it's on the opposite side of the building in alignment with my window at the same address. That's called stalking with the fake sun, and it's just engaging one in an ongoing progression from the one side of my person to the opposite side of my person. And while I'm inside of an address and prosecuting an entity, such as Holiday Inn, you will see it at one side of that building and the opposite side of that same building 11 hours later. And that serves for the prosecution of the people, because Holiday Inn is nothing other than an example for what the entire state is going to be prosecuted for: group stalking. And their demons while doing so. That's relevant for terrorism. It's 9:23. I'm going to show you, I'm going to capture images what you'll see the fake sun in the same position that it's at in the afternoon. 2 o'clock, 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon. The fake sun's on the same side of the building. So what's the difference? In the morning, the entity keeps a fake sun over me toward the, just generally speaking, to the left side of my person. And that's just a general reference. Whatever is the east side, it's on over my head towards the east side. And during the middle of the day, approximately 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, the entity keeps the fake sun directly over the top of my head in its zenith. And you have progressing toward the latter part of the day, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, the fake sun, and you'll see it at the same address, and it's on this same position that it's in right now. I'm outside of my bedroom window in the parking lot, and this is where the fake sun is going to be in the afternoon when I remain stationary in the room. And that's how you're recognizing also a fake sun over me, and you're recognizing the demons who thought that would never be known, and that the fact that they are different faces and the fact that you may not know them personally, you can never identify and prove the fact that they are stalking you, and that you are supposed to be depicted, and falsely and unjustly and tragically, American citizens who are sitting around kidnapped right now and who have lost their lives. They're buried around in a grave somewhere because this entity murdered them, or they took their lives. And this entity, the blood of such target individuals, the blood is on the hands of this entity as well, because they engaged in tormenting, targeting them to the degree. And that's I want to be clear, that's equally a taking of a life by this entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. But I'm going to show you images of the fake sun that's in the same position it is in the middle of the afternoon, which is also a scientific impossibility while it's remaining over me in San Diego, while it's remaining over me at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles. There's no shared sky space. It's not going to be seen through my sunroof. It's not over Las Vegas, Nevada. It's directly over me, showing you what an entity is doing everywhere that I'm going, which is group stalking, keeping a specific environment. The demonic environment remains around you. It's like you're in a cartoon. It's literally being in a bubble, while the demons, who are that entire population, no matter where you're going, in other words, no respecter of persons, no person that you think is a pastor, and they're baptized for 14 years now, and they run Bible studies every Tuesday, and they are not engaged in the same pattern of conduct. There is no exception. Demon possession fills the state of California. And that's how you are keeping the target individual in a bubble while demons are group stalking all around them. It is literally revealing the demon possessed who are engaged in a demonic surveillance system. And the government is the one that's engaging in it with the people. It's currently 9:25 a.m. I'm going to capture that in images right now. Alrighty, capturing again the entity's pattern of conduct, and you can see the fake sun over the same side of the building where it is in the afternoon. Again, the demon's trying to cover up their license plate. That is 7TEZ899. And all the demons whose license plate, not all of them, but the demons whose license plate are recited, they all go to their vehicles right now, which is a means of crossing path while I'm in the parking lot. And that intent is readily known. Everything, all of the details regarding what they're doing and what they know as they do it, it is confirmed by the placement of the fake sun. Literally, that's why the specific environment is there, because that's exactly what they're doing, and they know all about what I'm stating as I state it. All right, crossing path in the middle of the street with the dog while the entity is, okay, I was going to say something, but I won't, because that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing in a manner that I can see it. If I don't see a helicopter, I'm not going to document a helicopter, but the entity is always group stalking in the sky space. It is currently, 9:27 a.m., 7DER909. So the fake sun is now over the plaza that's directly across the street, where Ross, Marshalls, Joann, Pier 1 Food Court, Verizon, Famous Footwear, Leslie Pool and Supplies. This is the Lewis Retail Shopping Center. They're group stalking, right? And it includes your neighborhood Target, the Golden Corral, which would have a problem reconciling the sun over them here in Hesperia, and I'm documenting Golden Corral license plate. It's 9CIY304. That's a prosecution for terrorism. Engineer light moving all across Target, which lets you know Target is also a group stalker. While they're group stalking, it's letting you know what everyone else is doing. While the impossible light activity occurs, it's not just that demon, it's speaking to everybody else. This is what is providential about the demon's pattern of conduct. Nonetheless, your neighborhood Target and Golden Corral, who is documented with the light source over their venue in Ontario, California, and I'm in Hesperia, and the entity is keeping a fake sun. There's also the Golden Corral in Pomona, where the entity is keeping a fake sun over me in Golden Corral, and I'm just using Golden Corral as an example. They're engaged in state surveillance. As a company, you can individualize them, if you will, and document their criminal engagement in the P.O.C. And not all of those Golden Corrals are at the same, or in any position where actually the sun's going to be directly over their buildings at the same time or at any point, because that's not the zigzag conduct of the sun. It's not maintaining ubiquitous presence over all of us throughout this whole country for the duration of the day. Okay, demonic pacing, license 7VZF428, 9MGZ675, and targets monitoring with them 8NDS818. Targets a sex offender monitoring me inside of my hotel while these demons are pacing around group stalking all day. 9MQT120, 8NCW933, and I'm going to show you the fake sun over me while these demons are pacing, and Target, whose pockets are going to be drained, is engaging in this criminal conduct with them. It's P.O.C. It's currently 9:29 a.m. Alrighty, and you will see the direct evidence of what it is that I just documented. That's terrorism by the demons who are group stalking. That is Target, and all the people of the state that are driving past. These are demons one after another. That's called pacing. And engineer lights dragging across Target, which is speaking to Target's criminal engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring. You're going to prosecute Target based on their presence, based on what's happening on their property. And also, Target is literally a heavily documented group stalker. They directly engage in it, and all manner of terrorizing. They are on the record engaging in some egregious criminal conduct, and I'm going to prosecute them. So they're not innocent at all, while the demons are outside of the building with the building with the logo of Target on it. They're also not innocent while the fake sun remains over me and Target is across the street. Target's not group stalking by themselves. Lewis Retail Center, the shopping center, is group stalking. Again, this Target is located at 12795. That's the address. And this is the intersection of what is Main Street and what is that? KeyPointe is where the hotel that I'm at. And I'm going to go ahead and upload to the Google Maps so you can see where I'm located. Monitoring with those demons that we're pacing, 9JME081. Just sitting in the parking lot, group stalking, while the fake son and their demon-possessed co-conspirators are pacing by me in engineered light. That's facilitation while they engage. And remember, federal group stalking monitoring is going to be the prosecution for state surveillance. Not only by your engagement in the elements of monitoring are you going to be prosecuted, which is a seriously felonious crime, but you will also be prosecuted for the felony of criminal facilitation. That is enabling everybody else to engage in the elements of monitoring as well. It's a crime to do both. While you're doing any of the elements of monitoring, you're engaged in criminal facilitation. So helping the government and enabling the government is a federal prosecution as well. But they're also all going to be prosecuted for federal stalking. All right, license plate. Just crossing path by getting in the parking spot. And this is the obsessed entity that is group stalking to the end. Okay, they literally jump off of the cliff. I document it every day, and that's also relevant to the mind state. The threats that they are as sex offenders, the threats that they are as stalkers and in custody of minor children. Okay, this is an entity that knows, and the fact that they know is already established. So this is a demon that knows and goes to the extent to park, and that's fine. It's providence like I said, it's providence. But a fool would engage in handing evidence of their criminal conduct to a federal prosecutor. This is what the people of the state are doing on a moment by moment basis, and it's disturbing because it's revealing the mind state, this obsessive group stalking system. And then what I see is that these obsessed psychopaths have kids in their custody, and their kids are engaged in the criminal system as well, which is revealing their condition. So, like I stated, demon possession is not exclusive to those over the age of 18. But this third party's license plate I'm going to recite right now. Coming in and very easy for them to engage in that criminal conduct by parking in relevant position to me while listening. Real-time knowledge. This is the convenience of the demons. And so now, which is also part of their reaping, they get to listen to their exposure and their prosecution. All right. And their mental diagnosis is also a matter of public information. License plate 8UQA796. And it's 9:32. I'm going to show you the fake son of demons who are group stalking with real-time knowledge. Monitoring with 72ZK828. Currently substantially similar, but this one is 6YZV853, 6303, 60303's W1, and this demon parks next to me while the rest of them are still pacing, and Target is the surface where engineer lights swiping back and forth. This is demonic conduct that Target is engaged in. This is what Target is actually about, and you shouldn't be surprised. Target has many demonic agendas with regard to the merchandise that it sells you. All right, and Target is fully engaged in the demonic pattern of conduct. 8UQA796 is group stalking and parks next to me, and that's evidence of impunity. And again, this is another not a natural born citizen deportation. Has custody of children, remove those children, and that criminal record as a terrorist is going on them, and they're never living down that P.O.C. Oh yeah, that's one demon, one less in the medical field. P.O.C. All right, and this demon wearing scrubs gets right out and uses her criminal engagement with Target, who's group stalking with her. And this is how the entity engages in the P.O.C. together. License 7HWB379. Engage in the same P.O.C. And that demon that I'm documenting that's under the fake sun getting out in scrubs is affiliated with a nearby hospital or engaged in the medical field. This is another aged third party, license plate 8NDH408. Impossible light activity beside this old biddy's vehicle, which is impossible light activity, and the fake sun is over. My shadow is up right on the venue of Target. Target's going to be prosecuted for state surveillance. So Target is, again, in many ways exposing what this country is engaging in, and Target is actually a Satan-serving corrupt actor who's engaged in federal stalking, and every employee is demon-possessed. Okay, every target in this nation is engaged in domestic terrorism, and that's why Impossible Light is streaming up and down their venue, the wall of their building, while demons walk in, engage in surveillance in their parking lot, and walk right in and make purchases, and that's how they're engaging in the pattern of conduct, under the superficial guise of, I'm coming in to make purchases. All right, and that demon specifically, 8UQA, she's wearing scrubs, she's out of the medical field. All right, every terrorist is going to be removed from every area of life where they're posing a threat, including by group stalking at the venue. It's currently 9:35 a.m. and I am on surveillance cameras at Target where the fake sun is over that venue. P.O.C. I also want to make sure I'm documenting the sex offense that Target is engaged in, molesting my entire body with impossible light activity as you walk through the lobby area of Target where you have absolutely impossible light activity. It's, again, attributable to Target, whose real property is the crime scene where the fake sun remains over me, and providing what is the means of facilitation where you're subject to stalking by the people, and Target includes the people, and you're molested with engineered light while they're keeping you under surveillance. So that's a sex offense that Target is going to be prosecuted for. And remember, Target just represents a commercial means of engaging in that sex offense by group stalking with the population that's maintaining the elements of monitoring impossible light activity all over your body. So in case you didn't know, Target and everything affiliated with Target, the demons that work at Target and shop at Target are sex offenders, obsessed with my genitalia, obsessed with touching all over my body. And you need to understand that that's exactly what Target is, and that's exactly what Target facilitates. That's why it's happening while I'm walking through the building of Target. All right, P.O.C. So I want to make sure I document that sex offense, 9:37 a.m., P.O.C. All right, what you are looking at inside of Target is the many methods of surrounding. It's the most pathetic posture that human beings can be exposed in. And it is stalking in a grocery store. But like I said, you saw the people of the state committed to this criminal system 24/7 at an apartment complex where the sun was rising and setting. And that's really honing in on the capitalistic means of state surveillance, which is what Target represents. And the entity is stalking with minor children, and the people of the state that are using their children for purposes of crossing path and federal stalking, which is what I'm capturing, monitoring group stalking, crossing path conduct with your underage child who's using their communication device for crossing path, with the demons who are employed, stalking with methods of noise while they're maintaining inventory, which is supposed to be a demon's appearance, their explanation for why they're being noisy, and you're covered in engineered light. The fake sun is over the store. You're subject to a demonic and sexually violent method of molesting you with engineered light while you walk into the store, and you're looking at nothing other than ambush conduct by a bunch of demons, which Target is going to compensate me for. All right, the entity is engaged in stalking in a grocery store. It is the most pathetic posture that people can be found in, but these are not normal people. This is the mentally ill population that's engaging in stalking, and they resort to stalking in grocery stores. And how many of them are you following on the internet? How many of them are you trying to be like, live like, talk like, walk like? You're following Satan. And so this is the eye-opening reality, and this is the reality of what is entailed in working for Target, and what Target represents. Target serves Satan. Target bows to Satan. Target is fully in compliance with all that Satan is doing. Target is an integral aspect of the state's pattern of conduct in California. It is the work of Satan, and you're just buying Target's products. All right, so you need to know that. So, but like I said, if you pay attention, absent knowledge of the P.O.C., Target is giving you plenty of symptoms, if you will, based on what it advocates, based on the type of products that it sells, and I'm going to digress from that. But Target has let you know a long time ago that they serve Satan. And it's not funny, it's just very, very sad. The entity is engaging in what they're, like I said, there's no sane person group stalking, so you're looking at the mentally ill. And this is the same population that I said, again, you're looking at the evening news, and the people of the state are reporting to you the evening news, telling you about the inexplicable crime that happened to children, or the inexplicable crime that happened at the work office, the office where there was a shootout, or somebody killed themselves, or some sort of rape, some sort of camera found in a bathroom, sex offenders that are watching random. This is the people of the state. This is not inexplicable. These are the demons in the state of California who make up the actual crime rates. You're being given a narrative regarding the crime rates in California, the crime rate nationally, and you are not given any truth regarding the spiritual reality about who makes up the crime rates, who's actually committing the crimes, and you are able to be aware of that fully I have documented it by maintaining the ongoing context regarding the demon possessed. Those who serve Satan, those are the ones that are sex trafficking kids. Those are the ones that make up the crime rates. The demon possessed are the ones that are giving you information about the crime rates, conditioning your mind about who makes up the typical criminal, who's engaging in the so-called crimes, who makes up the people that say the very demons. Those are the ones giving you that information. And the demons that are walking or pushing carts around right now with babies, group stalking. They're not focused on grocery shopping. They're in here group stalking in a way that showed their mental illness, because the entity sought to engage in group stalking through those very means. So you seeing a stroller and a baby, and that's supposed to be a patently absurd contention by a target individual that somebody's group stalking. They have babies. What are you talking about? This person is clearly paranoid. This person is clearly hallucinating. That's how it's supposed to look. And you are aware of the entirety of that pattern of conduct. And then you're going to take a second glance at the entity, and you're looking at mental illness. You're looking at psychopaths. You're looking at those that are ticking time bombs. And those are the ones that are also engaging in harming children, and then it's reported on the news as something that was totally unexpected, all right? Because why? They're walking around with crime records that don't exist, and they need to exist. And you're not aware of the threat that they are right now while they're engaged in this secret system, working for companies like Target, without a criminal record, not having been convicted of any crime that the demons recognize under the natural laws that they are forming, and disregarding the demonic means of targeting, surveilling, terrorizing, sexually violating people. That's all of that information what you're relying on, and all of that is being accepted when you are merely facing all of that which you pay attention to, which you believe, which you regard, and how you formulate your opinions, and how you feel like you should live your life, and where you should live, and what you should drive, and the type of mannerisms you should maintain based off who it is that you're idolizing, following, and aligning yourself to. And you are following a bunch of demons, which is to say you are following Satan, who is literally conditioning your mind in this world, wanting to ultimately distract you. This is what fills Target right now. You have a bunch of psychopaths, demons who are obsessively listening to me expose them. They're pacing in the parking lot on surveillance cameras in Target, and possible light activities moving all across. This is an entirely demonic environment at Target, which it wants to be considered in your mind as your neighborhood go-to. Target is a crime scene out of hell. They're engaged in criminal activity. And they are all waiting for a criminal record. And I'm going to deliver it. But I want to make sure that I'm narrating the sex offense, I'm narrating the terrorism, I'm narrating the reality of what Satan is calling himself. Satan refers to him. Satan, first of all, is the one that reveals himself as an angel of light, okay? This is analogous to what Target represents. Satan is referring to himself as a company that you are affiliating yourself with, supporting, consuming products from, and you are in every way aligning yourself with that which is of the demonic. Okay, and you have mentally loose psychopaths who show their mental illness while the pattern of conduct is underway, and I'm prosecuting them. I'm prosecuting the company. I'm exposing the company. And not only will they lose money, but they're also going to lose that reputation. Okay, which is also that which is a matter of justice, because you can't quantify. They need to lose that reputation, because you need to know that Target is a terrorist. You need to know that they are all mentally loose, ticking time bombs that work for Target, own Target, and the demons who are group stalking, they're just following into the building of Target. They're group stalking. And that's the reality. So you're looking at the pattern of conduct, which you already know, and it follows right to Target. Target's a part of the same demonic, the psychotic P.O.C. It's the same. It does not stop. There's no exception at the doors of Target where, oh, no, not here. We're not entertaining that here. Okay? None of that loosey-goosey satanic stuff here. We don't do that. That's not what Target is. Target is fully engaged in it. Target is for the demonic streets, in other words. All right, this is not funny at all, but I just want to put it to you in a way that you can understand. Target is in every regard a threat to American citizens currently making money off of the criminal system that it's engaging in and that it's facilitating with the government, the state of California. All right, and this is not only occurring in California. Target clearly is engaged in the pattern of conduct in every state. Target is national. Target is international. All right, Target's engaged in state surveillance. It's P.O.C. And the entity is group stalking in every regard, in every manner that I've already exposed. And so you're looking at it occurring inside of a commercial actor such as Target. All races, demon possessed. All of them under the fake sun that's over the Target. all of them present, whether delivering something, whether buying something, whatever it is that they're doing. And they're all group stalking. And they're all psychopaths who are focused on me. And they are failing at looking any longer. Nobody is persuaded. No one is deceived. The only ones who are deceived actually is the entity that is going to face, epic exposure and prosecution, all right, civilly and criminally. But the entity is, no one is deceived by what a demon-possessed entity is doing any longer. And the entity is engaging in terrorism. While you see directed light, you're going to be compensated for that. While you're molested with directed light, you're going to be compensated for that. While you see the light source over your head and the entity's making money over while they're keeping you under surveillance, conspiring to murder and kidnap you, that's what Target is about. That's what Target's facilitating. That's what Target is doing with impunity. And they are engaged in federal stalking, and they continue while they know you're documenting it. And it's not different. You will see the evidence. This is what Walmart is engaged in. This is what Starbucks is engaged in. This is what McDonald's is engaged in. Any and every company. There is no respecter with regard to persons. There's no respecter with regard to company names, if you will, which is the same idea. There's no respecter of persons with regard to exposing the system. P.O.C, the whole workforce, it's currently 10 a.m. Everybody on the clock at Target's engaged in state surveillance. All manner of demon possession is exposed as well. And that's relevant for the prosecution of Target. It's currently, again, 10 a.m. at the Target that's across the street from Holiday Inn, where it's impossible that the sun would be anywhere over this venue, let alone still stationary over the hotel proper, meaning my window over the hallway, for example. When I'm looking at Target, the shopping plaza across the street, you see the fake sun right over my head at the venue of Target, which at no point, which again, I could do the same thing, capture the fake sun tomorrow morning when I remain inside of the same hotel. There's not going to be any sun over Target a distance away from me. It's going to be right over my head, which is speaking to the mentally ill population who's group stalking. And they're all doing it on camera. So this is exposing a population. This is exposing a nationwide crime because this is what's going on as I cross state lines in Nevada. This is what the entire nation is engaging in. All right. And so this is public corruption that unfortunately is occurring in the U.S. And the United States is not the free society. It's not. You don't have any privacy. They're operating under an entire illusion of fallacy. And it is for the service of Satan. So you're also aware of the reality that demon possession is not limited to those under the age of majority. Demon possession has nothing to do with your race. Demon possession clearly has nothing to do with your zip code, okay? The demons in Hesperia, okay? The demons in downtown San Bernardino, the same demonic activity in San Diego, California, or whatever it is that you like to affirm as being some sort of a neighborhood where such criminal conduct is too low to be spoken of, and it could not be farther from the truth. Okay, Satan, contrary to what Satan wants you to do, Satan is not discriminating. He uses every color of the rainbow to engage in surveillance. Every color of the rainbow. All right, every socioeconomic status, which are means whereby he is also seeking to separate us as human beings so that you're distracted. You're distracted trying to define yourself and depict yourself in a certain light amongst people who don't even like you. They hate themselves and they hate you because they have the spirit of Satan on them. All right, so this is maintaining a proper perspective, and it's also a prosecution of a commercial actor, which is what is Target, a corrupt and malicious government actor, not a private company, fully engaged in state surveillance with the demons who are the people of the state that are just, as you can see, they're nothing but working and shopping here, delivering products here, and pacing around in the parking lot around the building. It's the same demon-possessed entity that's stalking with Engineer Light. They just have different positions at Target. It's the same P.O.C. That's taking a macro analysis because that's exactly what it is. P.O.C. It's currently 10:02 a.m. All right, what you're looking at images of at 10:15 a.m., those are demons, and it's a means of amplified audible activity while they are crossing path. Two of these large pallets are a means of crossing path with noise, and you're looking at the ways in which Target, in other words, a commercial actor, just like at Holiday Inn, or like it's Fairfield by Marriott, whatever name you want to apply to it, the demons that are emptying the trash under the fake sun, making some sort of noise while they're walking under a fake sun amongst engineered lights, not even sunlight, that's what they're doing. And it's just tacky while demons are stalking you in the most pathetic manners. What you need to recognize is that these are sex offenders that are doing the same thing when your genitalia is exposed, and they are obsessed with everything that has to do with my genitalia. Okay, and target is engaged in the pattern of conduct sexually violent while they're in relevant position to my hotel room, and the entity is keeping the fake son across the street, not over target, over me at the hotel, which is also how you know what target is. And target is just, again, the venue I'm inside of, the Lewis Retail Shopping Center. The entire shopping center is group stalking, but this is understanding the sex offender as well. This is understanding the psychopath. Okay, that is outwardly, you have to understand and look at clearly the evidence of that mental illness. They are stalking you and maintaining an outward demeanor in a manner that is supposed to be socially appropriate. Oh, well, I don't know you, so I'm not talking to you. I've never seen you before, so I'm not addressing you. But then you're looking at all the P.O.C. around you. That's a mentally ill entity, and that surrounds. That has custody of children. That which is obsessed with your genitalia and is obsessively wanting to touch you with engineer light, and is in a psychopathic manner showing obsession and stalking you, and supposedly a covert, secret manner, has custody of children. Okay? Does not have a label speaking to the threat that they are to other people. They're a threat to themselves and each other. And children. Okay, hence the prosecution for domestic terrorism, which again, to be recognized, to be respected under federal law. Now understanding what is domestic terrorism, what the states are doing in the country, which is, again, you know, newsflash, it's not a free society. We are not free in America after all, and we haven't been for a long time. The entity is doing what Satan is doing with regard to just making you think. As long as it's a reality, as long as you are entertaining it in your mind. So as long as you think you're free, then you are free. And your idea of freedom, and this is not downing against social media, whatever it is you do in your daily life, but with regard to your idea of freedom, getting food however you want it, whatever time you want it, delivered wherever you want it, wearing whatever you want, saying whatever you want, this is your idea of freedom, and that's not freedom. And those are, and let me be clear, let me be more precise. That is literally like a microscopic aspect with regard to what is freedom. Yes, it is valuable that I can wear whatever I want and I don't have to answer to some quote unquote master. And I'm not in the fields picking cotton anymore, but you're not marrying yourself to an image. So you are equally enslaved in 2024 when you're subject to a system that you're actually ignorant about, that you are complying with subconsciously. You're not even aware of the fact that you are in every regard enslaved. And so you're understanding with regard to what is not only demonic, you are enslaved in a demonic system, enslaving your mind, enslaving your outlook, your perspective, and you are conditioned to think that status of being enslaved is freedom. Okay? You think that you're free, and that's nothing other than a conditioning of your mindset. Okay, because you've been told this is what freedom looks like, this is what freedom behaves like, this is what freedom does, this is what freedom buys, this is what freedom affords, and so you think you're free. And now, not just speaking in the constitutional means, but also with regard to freedom and life, and this is not freedom. The people of the state aren't even free. These demons, Satan has them in a chokehold. Okay, these are puppets of Satan, and they're obsessed with another person. They're not free at all. They're obsessed with me. And it's because they're demon-possessed. They serve Satan. Satan is consumed with one whom he cannot have. He can't have me. Okay, he's got all of them. And that's why they're stalking one person together. And they're doing so in a readily identifiable manner, which is surrounding them with evidence because they are the state. And the state's going to be prosecuted for surveillance. And it's a threat to your life while a bunch of demons are stalking you day and night, which is the evidence of what is the exact opposite. There is nothing free about being in Target, about buying whatever you want, about wearing whatever you want when you go to Target, and doing whatever it is that you think you want to do. This isn't even free conduct what they're engaging in. This is flipping. There's a whole illusion, okay, that's being shattered while I'm also prosecuting the state. And it starts with what you are not regarding. You may or may not be even regarding the reality of Satan and demon possession. This is to inform you, to educate you, and because it's speaking to the reality of Christ. God is real. And his name is the Lord Jesus Christ. He is real, and he is coming back in judgment. And he is giving a warning. He is giving a warning to those that are in Christ and to those that are not in Christ. And I'm prosecuting those that are not in Christ. They're witnessing their own exposure and their own demise under existing law that they masquerade as having freedom under. They're not free to engage in any of the criminal conduct and demonic conduct that they're engaging in. None of it. They're not free to engage in any of it. It is currently 10:21 a.m. and the entity is stalking with noise. These are a bunch of demons that are engaging in what is the clearly a psychotic pattern of conduct. and they're showing the threats that they are. And this is also why a federal prosecution and domestic terrorism and the list maintained by the DOJ is necessary, because such terrorism and such terrorists need to be labeled for purposes of the safety of those in this country, so that you can be aware of who they are, whether they repent or not. That's a criminal record and it's going to follow you. Hopefully they do repent. But that's not the federal government's concern. It's about saving the lives and protecting the lives and the dignity and the privacy and the constitutional protections that you are afforded in this country. Whether or not these demon-possessed entities want to respect it or not, they're going to respect it because they're going to be prosecuted under laws that exist and laws that shall come into existence in order to serve justice. It's 10:22. You're listening to a demon pacing in the hallway with the communication device. And that is captured at 10:22 a.m. That's impunity, and that's also, again, what the entity is doing on an ongoing basis. And that's audible activity. Everything that a demon is walking up and down the aisle. The fake sun is over me, literally at the position that I'm standing inside, and that's a demon wearing a Target uniform. The same demons that are emptying universal waste garbage at Alvarado Gardens, the same demon possession, impossible light all over the building while they're just coming to empty the garbage. This is what fills Target, a bunch of demon possessed group stalkers. Okay, and this is revealing mental illness that is rampant and not being addressed amongst criminal conduct that is rampant and to be addressed. Okay, not being addressed, but to be addressed, all at the same time, with regard to what the P.O.C. shows and with regard to this system of federal group stalking and monitoring. It's currently 10:23 a.m. and this is prosecution for what is terrorism, while you're subject to this terrorizing system even as you go into the neighborhood Target, which is fully, literally suckling at the teat of Satan. That's what Target represents. They serve Satan. P.O.C. All right, fake sun over the top of my head. Victor Valley Transit is group stalking with light activity. This is the same demonic behavior. You're looking at nothing other than a commercial name where the same pattern of conduct is underway. Victor Valley Transit is license 1539681 with Target that's group stalking inside of the store, 6PKH715. And Target is represented by every demon that's engaging in presence by being a patron, by making a delivery, and by group stalking on the property outside of the parking lot where you see the fake sun. License plate 7JZJ954. All right, and the entity is doing nothing other than ongoing surrounding conduct inside of the grocery store. 7JZJ954. If they're not natural-born citizens, they are going to be deported. Engineer light dragging across the venue of Target in the way that you saw in the video that I captured, and the fake sun is at 10:29 in the morning, which is nowhere over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. I'm going to capture that video right now, and then you're getting context regarding what is the criminal system that Target is engaged in. This is the Lewis Retail Shopping Center, and you'll see the Hotel Holiday Inn across the street, and this is nowhere near Rancho Cucamonga nor Alvarado Gardens, where at the same time I'm capturing video many times inside of my apartment, and many times at the leasing office where the fake sun is over me in Hesperia right now, where demons are pacing. License 8BOG286, license 8XRN422, 9DVW855. The noise is a means of audible activity while demons are pacing, and Target is a part of all of this conduct. 8DTM449. Those are demons inside, all with communication devices, all maintaining the demonic methods of stalking with audible activity inside of the store. And you're looking at the crime scene while they're pacing all around me inside of the store. All right, this is P.O.C. It's currently 10:30 a.m. Alrighty, capturing the engineered light and the light source over me at the Target. Again, license 7XFJ670, 9FBM358, crossing path 10500K3, 7759VM, that's Virginia. And in video, I'm just capturing what's around me right now. The entity is maintaining the elements of monitoring while I walk outside of the Target, and you see the light source hovering directly over me. So you are recalling with regard to duration of time analysis. The entity is keeping the fake sun. Remember, Target's across the street where I arrived at the Holiday Inn, and at 5:23 in the afternoon, and the light source is in alignment with me at this venue. To be across the street from the address where I'm at the Holiday Inn at 5:27, the fake sun's over the Target. So the entity is, again, not remaining over the Holiday Inn with the light source, which is showing how a population is stalking, and the condition of that population is identified through that demonic environment where you're seeing their demonic behavior as well. And that is engineered light that's not moving from a car when they're driving under what is supposed to be the sun. And you're also witnessing their mental illness. And the more that the demons are fully aware that you're documenting them, the more violence that they engage in. Hence the lengthy video that I just captured, which is evidence against the state of California, the government that's engaged in group stalking with the people, relying on the people, acting via the people, hiding behind the people, the same exact demon possession shared by the state directly. It is the people of the state that are engaging in this demonic behavioral pattern, which is achieving criminal surveillance and federal stalking on the venue of the internet. The violent sex offenders that are following from place to place, and doing so showing the threat that they are to themselves, the threat that they are to each other, the threat that they are to children, while they are engaging in this demonic targeting system on behalf of the state of California, where at 10:29 in the morning, I'm showing you a light source that's not over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court at 8303 Haven Avenue, which again I used to juxtapose my placement in Los Angeles at 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6, 9BCB100. Where I'm showing you my placement in Los Angeles, and the entity is maintaining a fake sun at the same time here in Hesperia, California, where the sunrise is at, by the way. So the sunrise is at 7:20 at the entrance doors of the Holiday Inn, and at what is 10 in the morning, it's 10:40 right now. I captured that video at 10:30 upon my exit. The entity's light source is still, this is across the street. So this is again showing what's non-movement, blatant stalking with a fake sun, and the demons that they are, as you see the demonic pattern of conduct, crossing a path, and what is integral with regard to the crossing a path conduct, the stalking with engineered light. And this is a show of hostility in the same way that a dog that is hostile, that's aggressive, that's threatening, that feels threatened, in other words. And why do the demons feel threatened? Why are they hostile? Because I'm speaking the reality of that, the number one, that they're demons and that they're stalking. And so the entity engages in more of the demonic, which is, again, for your educational purposes, you get to see what demon possession looks like. You get to see how the system of federal group stalking and monitoring operates. You're looking at an irreducible pattern of conduct that's tying together populations. Impossible light activities, it's that which is unnatural. It's a supernatural occurrence to happen one time. And I'm showing you the pattern amongst populations while I'm in Ontario, California, while I'm in Los Angeles, California, while I'm in Glendale, California, while I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, while I am literally on the freeway, there in any state, Las Vegas and or in California. That's speaking to that which is impossible to occur even one time, because sunlight does not create that conduct. And it's also not possibly the sun, while I'm showing you the pattern of the evidence showing what is the maintenance of a light source in manners that are irreconcilable with not only with what you are seeing over your head with regard to the so-called sun. For example, in Maine, Massachusetts, wherever you're at, we're not looking at the same object in the sky. And it's also impossible because of my documentation on its face. The entity is keeping a fake sun at this time in Ontario, California, over the Ovid Family Community Library. I'm looking at it through the window above the elevator. I'm looking at it while I'm aiming my camera out the back of the library that's facing the College of Law, Laverne. All right, the Laverne College of Law. I'm capturing the fake sun directly over the top of my head, while the demon-possessed terrorist organization, the Ontario Police Department, and the fake sun on June 23rd, they engaged in kidnapping at 10:29 in the morning. I captured video right now in Hesperia, California, over the target, while the entity is clearly engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern of crossing path. This is showing you the significance of presence in that remarkable environment, which is also irreconcilable on its face. And this is how the population is also prosecuting each other, and they engage in lengthy evidence that's going against the entire state. Now, the people of the state I'm going to prosecute on podcast right now, and it's not distinct from the demons that engaged in the sex offense online. They're molesting together. These are demons in the custody of children, molesting the body of a woman whom they are stalking, while they are molesting me through supernatural means, touching on my breasts and my legs and my buttocks with engineered light in a manner that no stalker with their hands can touch you. And it's also going to be respected under federal law, while the demons are obsessively and always perpetually violating the person. While you're also violating the privacy, you're also violating their rights to not be stalked by you. Stalking by a population is going to be recognized under federal law. It's group stalking, and it's shown through that specific environment. The entity is clearly engaging in sexual violence in a very obvious manner, and it is literally the evidence that I just captured right now on video in Hesperia under the fake sun over this target, which is not over the Holiday Inn number 1 that I'm staying in across the street. And it's also evidence of what is not the sun that's at the same exact time over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. It's not over the Ovid Family Community Library, which I used the same exact time, 10:29 in the morning, in order to prosecute the state for kidnapping. This is the same entity that's not only a violent sex offender, that's not only a mentally ill psychopath, and that is shared. Every single actor is demon possessed. So you're looking at the ability to psychologically analyze every third party that's engaging in the P.O.C, and it's everybody that's in relevant position. I don't have to go to their house and have the fake sun remain over me and drive to the demon's house that's on the opposite side of the 15 freeway to show you that they have the same condition, because the pattern of conduct is already established. This is an entire population that has the exact same condition, and they're going to be prosecuted for the exact same crimes. The entity that's engaging in kidnapping, for example, there's only way it's going to be distinct. So I've documented the people of the state, for example, kidnapping me while they were group stalking in the manner that you just saw in video, which I'm going to publish. All right, so they're crossing path while I'm kidnapped, handcuffed, and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is driving me from the West Valley Detention Center to the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, which you already know is a crime scene. That's a corrupt courthouse, and they're going to federal prison for the ways in which they engaged in kidnapping upon federal group stalking and monitoring. Nonetheless, the people of the state that are engaging in this criminal activity that I'm capturing on video day after day after day, this is exactly what they're doing when I am kidnapped by the state. In other words, that is group stalking, state surveillance, license 8UPT229 at 10:45 a.m. And while I'm kidnapped by the state, this is the exact criminal conduct that they're engaging in while I'm kidnapped by the state, while that is engaged in federal stalking and criminal facilitation, sexual violence, the exercise of fictitious authority while they're kidnapping an American citizen whom they're keeping under surveillance because I'm exposing that criminal system. This is the conduct that they're engaging in. So the people of the state that are documented by license right now, they're published. This is the criminal conduct that they're engaging in when they're driving all around the bus that I'm on, kidnapped on. This entity that knows exactly who I am, where I'm at, which you also know because of the impossible conduct that they engage in, the supernatural behaviors that they engage in all around. Under a fake sun amongst engineer light, this is exactly what's underway while I am kidnapped by the state, and they are transporting me from the West Valley Detention Center in Rancho Cucamonga and driving me to the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court in Rancho Cucamonga, California, where at no time is the sun, contrary to what I documented at 10:29 in the morning in June of 2022, same time of year and same exact time analysis, with what you're seeing out over my head and amongst the people of the state under the fake sun in Hesperia, California. This is the entity that's going to federal prison. In other words, kidnapping. The target individual is currently kidnapped while you're engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. And like I stated, they're all going to federal prison. These third parties are already documented and their identities are already published. They can change their license plate. They can buy different cars. They can move to a different state. The federal law is going to reach out and find them, and they're going to federal prison for what they have already engaged in. What I am showing you is what the people of the state are doing at all times, at all places, as a population, as the entire state, indistinguishable. It's only minor details, and that is literally the case with the demon possessed. That is literally the case with regard to the state's criminal system. It is minor details with regard to the name of that particular demon. The fact that they're demons is shown through the environment that follows me. It's supernatural while that environment follows me, which is pointing directly back to the demons who are the people of the state. The demons who are the people of the state will be individualized at federal prosecution. They're going to federal prison immediately with regard to their being documented, engaging in that criminal conduct, which I captured on video today in Hesperia, while the entity was kidnapping me. And it includes commercial actors such as Target. The people of the state are group stalking, crossing path in a vehicle with the logo Target on it. Target is engaged in kidnapping. They're group stalking. As you see, I'm at Target and I'm subject to the pattern of conduct. The demons who are moving around Target's products are group stalking, and it is also going to be prosecuted under the commercial means of Target, because these are all the resources of the state. These are the malicious means whereby the entity thinks it can avoid being prosecuted because I'm doing something. I'm an employee of a company. I'm moving around products. I don't even know this person. How am I stalking them? I've only seen them. I only crossed by them. I drove by them. I only saw them in the opposite lane on the freeway. This is all that the entity is relying on. And it is showing you exactly how a population is group stalking. It is an admission of presence, and that's all you need. That's all you mean. That's all you need. Target is shown to be actually engaged in criminal surveillance, because they're not free to have this building in this parking lot while they're criminally engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. That's ripping off the veil behind which Target, the people of the state, are hiding when this criminal system that I just captured on video is clearly underway by the demons working for Target and the demons shopping at Target and the demons doing business all around, including Victor Valley Transit, for example. 8 PPS 4. Hold on, let me get this demon's license plate. 8 PPS, 061YJ handicap, 8 HYE 875, and 8 PPS. I'm not going to get anybody. I'm not going to miss these demons. Let me see. 9 FXK469 and BZ42T00 paper, and 6 XSK438 and 8 PPS494. All right, and target still engaged in the P.O.C. while I'm here. 8 ZQK080 1111482 and 98182N2, and they're all engaged in state surveillance and federal stalking at the same time. License 98EX947, and engaged in surveillance right in front. The vehicle is a means of impossible light activity, 07697Y3, 9EBM334, 9MQT543. And again, 07697Y3 is group stalking, light activity in front of target, and under the malicious guise of doing business with target. So that commercial actor also prosecuted. License, some sort of carrier. This demon with the medical uniform on, 8XPS020, a Caucasian female, she's done with the medical field. All right, she's going to prosecute her, and she's done with the medical field. She's got scrubs on. Perhaps she got it from the corrupt institution, American Career College. I don't know. But wherever she got her training, she is speaking to what is nothing other than a population of demons who are these loose cannons, these psychopaths and sex offenders, these terrorists who are going to hospitals and exercising power over the lives and safety of American citizens. So I want to document that. Nonetheless, what I'm speaking to is the entity engaged in is openly engaged in this criminal conduct. And this is exactly what you are mindful of when you're looking at what the entity was doing while I was kidnapped. That's exactly what the people of the state were doing. They were fully engaged in kidnapping and group stalking with the state, while a kidnapping was underway. You are going to federal prison for that. Their license plates are already published onto the internet. This is serving for a comprehensive prosecution, and you are suffering the consequences based on what you did and what they knew was underway while they were engaging in that criminal system. The entity is at all times fully apprised of the criminal conduct, and you can claim that you're ignorant all you want. It's legally irrelevant. The specific environment is what controls the ongoing pattern of conduct that's literally demonstrated amongst populations in the state, including as I cross state lines. You don't have any shelter. There is no attorney that can help you, and any attorney in California is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, and they ought to be mindful of that because they're exposing their effect while they're acting as a state actor, engaged in the practice of law, while you are a documented group stalker in the state of California. It is literally showing the prosecution, which is that which is insurmountable. So you are exposing yourself while you want to engage in some exercise of law under authority that you don't have as a group stalker. You're group stalking with the state in the role as an attorney. But like I said, I welcome all of it. They are engaging in the pattern of conduct, and you're going to be prosecuted. So the entity is witnessing in many, many ways how its criminal system and the malice with which it engaged in this targeting system, which is a conspiracy to murder and kidnap someone. The entity does so, and at this point, you're looking at the evidence, which is serving for all of the rich methods of exposing public corruption and how justice is served by whatever area that they're in. For example, they're going to be plucked from that area. They're going to be identified as terrorists, which is exactly what they are. I just captured terrorism at Target in Hesperia, California. And this is going directly to how long the demons of the corrupt terrorist organization, the Ontario Police Department, at the Ovid Family Community Library, that wasn't the son which I spoke to then in that video. And this is ongoing confirmation of it now, while demons in Hesperia are providing evidence against itself. They're all going to federal prison with regard to what I documented on June 23rd, 2022. They're all going to federal prison. Okay? The Ontario Police Department is a terrorist organization. They're engaged in this same exact demonic system. They're engaged in criminal defamation with these demons who are group stalking at Target. These are the demons engaged in criminal defamation. This is how their criminal conduct is working against themselves. And that is justice. This is mental illness that is rampant. Okay? They don't want you to know about their mental illness. They don't want you to know about that, but you don't have to say a word. You can let the video play. You can look at the video. So the entity is engaging in conduct, which again is highly malicious. Target is going to be prosecuted for what I just documented on the grounds of Target, for what I documented inside, because what you see outside of the doors, they were group stalking inside. It's very pathetic what they're doing inside, which is group stalking in a grocery store. I mean, if you have never, it's already creepy that somebody, for example, engages in stalking by hiding in your bushes. The people of the state are group stalking in grocery stores. And a mentally deranged person is group stalking, holding a shopping cart, and you're not supposed to know the fact that they are obsessively consumed with maintaining presence all around you. That's the mentally ill. And as I documented here, they are in the medical field. They are not even natural born citizens. They are in custody of minor children. They are group stalkers that may or may not actually have an existing criminal record. And those are the likes that are group stalking. They're all going to have a criminal record when I get done. But this is exposing what is domestic terrorism, and the entity provides evidence against itself, showing the threat that it is as a population, and doing so in the manners in which 9MLK 323, license 7FGJ 360. And the entity is engaging in that pattern of conduct with real-time knowledge. And so this is, again, the unapologetic engagement in terrorism, and that unapologetic engagement, that outright disregard for the safety, well-being, the life of another, is also noted when they are federally prosecuted. 6AVV335. And that's exactly what you see when one demon after another lining up. They represent the population, the state of California, and they represent the state directly. This is the population that terrorist organizations masquerading as police departments and sheriff's departments, this is the population that they're group stalking with. This is the population with whom the state is playing cops and robbers. And they're group stalkers together, conspiring to murder and kidnap people. License 8FDE203. License 6BFP017, PT305 handicap, RC137 handicap, 061YJ handicap, DJ78C64, that's paper. License 5KDN094, 8VNH713, LX449 handicap, 6UHA043, 8WLC245, 7DXJ811, 8UBD922, 8ZQK080, 1638499, and that's a California exempt license plate on a silver Chevy truck parked at Target. This is a demon that is affiliated with the Marine Corps, which tells you nothing other than the fact that there are many demons that want to be referred to and reverenced as veterans, and I've documented many corrupt terrorist organizations that want to be respected and appreciated, masquerading as police officers, and they're far from anything that's actually protecting and serving in the way which that the Constitution requires, and the oaths that in conformity to the oaths that they took. This is a demon-possessed group stalker that is affiliated with the Marine Corps. 6SQC870, license 8UDK011, 9KKT479, 7WKN172, 8GGD277, license plate 8MEG173, 8UPR444, 8XJA052, 6DXB912, 8XSK438, 8PQX478. License 8VNH713, and you can see the fake sun through the windshield of license 8PQX478, who's group stalking in a parking lot. And that is revealing, again, Target as a group stalker. The Lewis Retail Shopping Center is a group stalker engaged in state surveillance. RDMS4EV. And I'm going to they're going to compensate me. The entire plaza is engaged in this criminal system while I'm at Target, subject to that iteration of terrorism, sexual violence. They're engaged in a sex offense while in relevant position. This is criminal surveillance that the Lewis Retail Shopping Center is engaged in. It's nothing lawful. They're making money while engaged in surveillance. They're engaged in group stalking by virtue of presence and alignment to me, to my hotel, where this pattern of conduct is readily identified. It's readily identified because a fake sun remains over that hotel. So you are providing context to what actually the retail Lewis Shopping Center is engaged in, and it's criminal. It's not lawful. And that's a matter of what is civil and criminal prosecution. That's draining the pockets. License 49151N1, 7YTP010, 52671A3, 8BRT804, 9MQT090. And oral wheat is group stalking. Crossing path in a commercial means 8NCY854. They're documented terrorists already. Oral wheat, the one that sells you bread. They're engaged in state surveillance, and they're here engaged in that same sex offense. License 72195G2, 8BRT 804. I think I already read that one. Group stalkers. Group stalkers engaged in surveillance sitting in their car. 8NOU514, KEPWRKN, 7TCK414. RFNF. Hold on. Oh, Garda World. They're group stalking. They're heavily documented in San Bernardino County. License RFNEF86. Perhaps Renee or RFNFE86, I believe. That's a white Infinity. That's a black license plate with yellow characters. She's group stalking. License 8SZD144, 7TCK414. Yeah, it kept working. 8NOU. 9BQT765, 11302T2. 7RDJ818, 7JRV943. Some of these might be repeating because I'm just going up and down the aisles. I want to make sure I get all of them. 7VKV380, 92778W2, 9GWF952. I believe I read that one. 8VAV725, 7LEH384. All right, and you'll see 7LEH384 crossing path in the parking lot, which is achieving group stalking. They're also achieving group stalking by engaging in surveillance, which you're identifying through presence in the parking lot, just sitting in their cars. The people of the state are maintaining presence all around you. All right, and it's very sick while people are engaging in stalking you in that manner, and it's supposed to be inconspicuous. All right, it's supposed to be covert, and none of them are qualified to be in any sort of secret service. Okay, you're talking about janitors and elementary teachers. Even a police officer is not trained to be in any secret service. These are the likes of those that are threatening your life, conspiring to murder and kidnap you. BZ42T00, that's a paper plate. 9NCE263. 9EQG957, 52671A3, 5GUX123. Yeah, that's RENEE86. So Renee E86 or REN. Yeah, I believe those are E's because the bottom of her lights. Let me take a picture of it actually. That's more than likely Renee 86, RENEE 86. License plate KS895 handicap 3KQP111. 9MQT352, 8MEG173, 7STV906, 8XJA052, 8YXP167, 9CJG297, 8XKH401, 6JVG227, 4JAG370, 8JTA363, 8KNM881, 7GWN551, 6VAF425, 8SMH256, 8RTH184. I think I read those. 8NRL816, stalking in a parking lot, just sitting in the car for crossing path. 9GVV299, 6BFP017, 9MIC778. FedEx is group stalking. You already know that. They're group stalking with Target parked in the same. The entity is doing Victor Valley Transit. Then the demon in the white van delivering something. Then you have the demons that are using their hazards and sitting in front, loading and unloading. FedEx is another demon group stalking under the fake scent, which is nowhere near San Diego, California. 9MIC778, 9CKJ634. License. Already read this demon's license plate. The spaceship with the paper plates. And they want to be impressive. There's nothing impressive about a demon driving a spaceship, group stalking. Obsessed with my genitalia. Again, DJ78C64. License plate 43662B3 and 7VVA328. The entities engaged in the same criminal system. That's what FedEx is engaging in. The same location where you saw that iteration, that terrorism via directed light under the fake sun. That's what FedEx is engaging in. 9BXS073. License plate. And everybody inside of Target is group stalking still. 8PRJ083. License 46779J2. 8TJA605. BL91N48 paper. 7HGZ097. 8LTA038. 6EBN285. 8RTH184. 6DRJ028. 8KZK680. I read that one. 43662B3. I'm pretty sure I read that one. 7HBP133, 9LAD601, 8TLC299, 8YXP167, 6GAR467, 8DCH356, 6ZSH011. I read that one already. And 83031Z3 92. I think I read that one already. Let's get this demon's license plate. 9FQG957. 9COR314. Yeah, I read that one already. 5U84216. And Garda World Security, their group stalking. 8YFP039 is the license plate of Garda World. That's a commercial actor. License RC137 handicap. License 89218S3 07429T3 7XTU887 70096C2. Sleep number Sally Beauty Supply, Crumble Cookies, their group stalking. License plate 8ATV222. License 84799W2. This is the commercial actor. Masters Coffee and Water, US.2707777. And they're crossing path with impossible light activity. That's terrorism. And they're also engaged in federal stalking. And their phone number is 760-244-5073. They're acting with impunity while that demon uses that commercial means, and that company is also a group stalker. That's why the employees moving around and bearing their logos are group stalking. License 9HJT644, 8TAR828, 7SAS646, 6ZVT739. Yeah, this is the High Desert Gateway, the Retail Lewis Shopping Center. This is where the entity is keeping a fake sign. 9KTP825, 8CKF731, 8JFJ760, 8TAR, I think I read those already. They're all a part of that massive sex offense that I captured on video. Okay, one demon after another lining up to engage in a sex offense. That's how eager the demons are to touch all over my body. And that's how obsessed they are also when I'm in a private space and my genitalia is exposed, and they engage in equally impossible conduct such as amplified audible activity, sensational activity, while they are also aware of the fact that you are physically nude, which is the behavior, the mindset of a sex offender. That's predatory. Okay, they're already stalking all around. The demons who are monitoring you like to do so when you're nude, when you're engaged in private activity. That's when they like to engage in their monitoring behaviors as well. Light activity while a demon is moving their vehicle, 6CXD150. The impossible light activity is on the side of their car, on the driver's side, on the building of what is Subway, group stalker here in the venues. The 5-Star Nails and Spa, the address is 320. The Juice It Up is group stalking. Also, the address is 12721 on the building. So that's Suite 320 and Suite 310, which is Subway. Suite 300, which is Waba Grill. They're all group stalking together. That's audible activity while a demon is group stalking behind this demon with engineer light. And they honk their horns like they're going somewhere. And all they're doing is group stalking. License 62229D3, 5150DBM, LLAMAPA, 6ZSP731. All right, just stalking in the path, sitting in front. That is, again, license 6CYD150. And like I said, Juice It Up, 5-Star Nails and Spa, Waba Grill, Subway, Five Guys, Minchie's, Oasis Sushi. The address is 12719, Suite 400, Suite 410, and Suite 420. They're all group stalking together. This is the commercial means for engaging in the pattern of conduct with the demons that are pacing all around. 8RZL967. And you will indeed see the fake sun through the rear windshield of 8RZL967 speaking to group stalking by Juice It Up, 5-Star Nails and Spa, Waba Grill, Subway, Five Guys. Like I said, all of the commercial actors, while the fake sun is not over Holiday Inn, which you couldn't see it through the windshield of that vehicle in this plaza, while it's on the opposite side across the street over the Holiday Inn, maintaining presence over where I'm at, which is letting you know what this entire plaza is doing all day long, which is a sexually violent pattern of conduct, monitoring a woman inside of a hotel room. 8WZZ249, 7DUJ270, 9BNU650. And it's criminal surveillance is providing context regarding what the population is doing. You're not engaged in lawful business. You're engaged in surveillance because you're group stalking. The nature of group stalking is being present in the path. Your business is maintaining presence in the path on behalf of the state while you're making money. You're going to be prosecuted civilly and criminally for that. 9JVE522, 9DQS643, 12457Z3, 4905, 4905. No, there's too many characters. Hold on, let me see. This says 90572C2. 5USV433, 9FDW614, 9HSV806, TLN8679, that's Virginia. 7JEX858, 57326U3. This is the same entity. All of that terrorism that you saw in video, all these demons were all around monitoring together. They were engaging in a demonic orgy. They're going to be prosecuted as sex offenders. That's what federal group stalking and monitoring is. And this population were acting as one. While the fake sun was over me, you see the fake sun remain over me. They were all group stalking me together, which is what they're also doing while I'm in the hotel room at Holiday Inn across the street, which is also how you know what Courtyard by Marriott was doing while the Impossible was over my head at that venue, which is also how you know what Alvarado Gardens was doing while that light source, which is not the sun, remained over that apartment complex over my head for the duration of the day, where you saw the government engaging in donuts all day long and helicopters. That whole property is going to federal prison, including the corporate office, speaker companies. 8WYW462, MIKA 808, license 8PIW 707, license 9AJV343, engaging in surveillance, sitting in the parking lot while the fake sun remains over me, openly engaging in surveillance. 8SKR361, 8NVG717, 8REZ341, 6WCN086, 5YVW259, target crossing path in the parking lot. License 9LZL342, 9DYP920, 9MOT863, 8NMK353, 8PQ X478, 9MCB897, 8YGE287, 8NMK353, 8STS437, 5RSB841, 8V MU095, license 9DID099, 7E74003, 8P46165, 6BLK126, 9EST093, 8JFS558. I believe I read this. Oh no, 2UBS546, case I didn't. License 8LEX161, 9GLM645, 6FZC728, 8UER557, AY664 handicap, 7KRB336, 476NP handicap. 9JZN046, I think I read that one in case I didn't. 9EMJ567, handicap 4674. Hold on, 46744, that's handicap. License 7VRX359, 9AON016, handicap 899MB 25122T3. 8URZ956, 21982M2, 7CGD821, 7RDL331, 8HHW047, 7PVL755, 8TPL371, 8TAK216, 9KRB554, 7JEG329, 7RZU280, 5RSB841, 8PQX478, in custody of minor children, engaging in the pattern of conduct, which is a sex offense that they were engaged in as well. You saw the entity do it with impunity, and that's also going to be at the forefront of the federal judges, the federal courts, prosecution, when you're facing punishment for what you engaged in on that date, not how sorry you are and how tearful you are when you're facing the real-time consequences, okay? They're using children and including children, threatening the lives of those children and threatening the life of another while they're engaging in sexual violence, and with the minor children, with 7RZU280, okay? Again, that demon with 8PQX478, fully engaged in terrorism and sexual violence with impunity. That's the grounds of removing the children from these mentally ill actors who are openly engaged in psychological torture and targeting another. Conspiring to murder someone, you are unfit to be in custody of minor children. 9DYP920, 9HYG139. License 9SFX953, 71694R2, 8WNM739, DJ74E93, 9AJV343. License plate 8HHL346, 6AYB729, 9DYR665, 8EMB, I know I read that one already. Alrighty. And it is currently, by the way, 11:13 in the morning. The entity is keeping the fake sun over Target, right over me at Target, again at 12795. We've got the address of these demons. That's nothing other than a facilitating venue, which is revealing what the whole rest of the state of California is engaging in. Again, you have, again, the people of the state. It's unfortunate, but this is an accurate statement. They are, the people of the state, the demon-possessed entity, are idiots group stalking under a fake sun. License, excuse me, it's tantamount to a license plate. Address 12795 Main Street. This is third party facilitating venue Target, where a fake sun is remaining over this venue. 9AOD327 7ZZR068. The same demons that were molesting and terrorizing with engineer light. This is what they're doing in the parking lot. 74703A4. This is, again, unfit mothers are group stalking, engaging in the sex offense as one, and she is still here, just that one demon, but that's speaking to all of them. I'm documenting a whole group right now, and the population is going to be sliced down and prosecuted accordingly. Every threat that you pose is going to be removed so that you do not no longer pose that threat. And the DOJ is going to maintain your name on a list so that everyone knows, meaning everyone in this country knows, the threat that you pose to children, to other people, and to yourself. 7FGJ360, 9HEC201, 4LFL751, 7WWY507, 7XPH471. This is Texas. TDZ6156. KD368 handicap. 8HSA531, 21982M2, 8URZ956, 8MJF170, DH70P38. That's a paper plate on a dark gray black Tesla at 11:15 a.m. on the surveillance cameras in this parking lot at Target. The entity engages in a crossing path in doing so with these paper plates, which is notable. So I'm just going to note those details, and it will be useful later. License 7EZP643, 8URZ956. 9CER739, already documented. 9FBM358, they were literally a part of, they're all a part of the same pattern, but that demon in particular engaged the entity that directly engaged in what is sexually violating my entire person, while one demon after another engaged in a streamline of molesting with engineer light one after another, while that fake sun, that act of terrorism is going on the worldwide news, and the people of the state are going to be exposed as the terrorists that they are, and why they are going to suffer the consequences that they will under federal law. 6734 OC2, and commercial actors such as Target are fully a part of that sex offense, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. 6TGR830, 8TAK216, 9LOB780, and that's nothing that you ever want your company to be a part of, but that's what the people of the state do with impunity. 9EIZ489, OIRISH1. Again, OIRISH1. All right, America's Best contacts and eyeglasses, they're group stalking. Ross Dress for Less is group stalking. Marshalls, Ulta Beauty, Joanne Fabric and Crafts, they're group stalking. You Break I Fix by Assurion is group stalking. Eyebrow Are Us, they're all group stalkers. The address is 12715, so suite number 710, suite number 740. They're engaged in state surveillance, and suite number 700. They're all engaged in state surveillance while the fake sun is over me, and they're a part of the sex offense that I documented on video. 9GQF535, that's an Asian female. 9GQF535, engineer light all over the ground and all over the sidewalk. She's monitoring me. She's engaged in federal stalking, and she acts with impunity. Now, she's not a natural born citizen. That is one less terrorist in the U.S. 9WQZ702, 8WVJ999, 9AVE345, 8HHF275. License plate 9HSK398, 4EVERY1, 6YFW985, 6WAL907, 9EVC893, 8XOS472, 9LLW150, 9JKV416. It's 11:18 a.m. 9VGV936, 8TVG486, 7UZC740, 9EIB813. Yeah, I read that one already. 8PPZ612, 99. Hold on, let me get this. 9983. 8U3, you can scratch that one. I'll get that one in a second. I can't see it. YYA34L, that's Arizona. DJ56X88, California, that's a paper plate. 9BBT030. 6ZSP731. 6GRC400. 8SGP098. This is Kansas. 08DES. Another demon that's referred to as a veteran, and that they bring shame to the military. There is no honor and there is no exception. This is a demon, a group stalker, one engaged in state surveillance, one engaged in un-American conduct, and they bring shame to the military forces as opposed to any exception. They bring shame to that. License plate. Hold on. Alrighty, license plate 8NYK072. Can't let any demons get away. Can't have that. It's currently 11:19 a.m. License 8DVU728, 6TXG629, 6TPY486, 7328J, handicap. 8DVU728. 8XRN422, 7CSW608, 7DEZ358, 7XTU887, 8TIS654, 9KBN148, PPA12D, that's Arizona, 7DXD310, 8ATP303, WILCHER, 9EXU274, 9BMT354, 9CJC127, 9AGK951, 10500K3. Ross is located at 12791 Main Street. They're group stalking. They're fully engaged in the pattern of conduct with the people of the state. 9EXB939, 7TMB950. Marshall's located at 12787 Main Street. They're group stalking. 12783 Joanne Fabrics and Crafts. They're group stalking. They're a part of the sex offense inside of the shopping center that I documented. That's on video. License 8TLY689. I want to make sure I get that correctly. 8LYG655. License 96124B3. 7SOW882. 8AXT252. 9NFE508, 7NMD790, 8JTA363, 9HAZ856, 8DME894, 6SDL996, 7MSL575, 8ZXB400, 8ENV642, 59784G3, 8BVS635, 8XSP608. I think I already read that one already. 6YSL611, and hurrying up to cross path 9AVE345. Her anxiousness is going to be noted at her federal prosecution. 8BCB314. Okay, that's exactly what the entity was doing at the hotel. As soon as I walk inside, that demon and that black navigator hurriedly crosses path by parking right in front. You engage in lying in wait in order to do that. That's very psychotic. That's what a population is doing. Okay, 8ZGT331, and 8BCB314 is stalking with a minor child. This is a little boy that's engaged in the pattern of conduct, and they're unfit to be in the custody of minor children. License LOREN87, license 8DME894, 38984D3, 7RPU084, 8NSP545, JJGAEL, 8PAZ362. License 5ZGD609, 9JMZ185, 9ALY959, 7KER299. Capturing images at 11:22 a.m. and you will see the likes of the demons that are molesting with engineer light, group stalking, psychologically torturing, terrorizing another while holding the hand of a minor child. Those are the demons that get out of their vehicles and go right into a venue. Marshals, who's group stalking as well. Marshals is a part of the pattern of conduct engaged in federal stalking while I am subject to that terrorism that's captured on video for their criminal prosecution. A part of the criminal prosecution is removing minor children from the custody of the demon possessed that are engaging in this criminal system. They are literally unfit and a threat to minor children that they have custody of while this criminal system remains underway. And you have the mentally ill population that engages in this criminal conduct and then masquerading as engaging in lawful conduct, engaging in what is supposedly and accepted as free and normal conduct. The ordinary family home, the nuclear family, is demon possessed in California, and they're engaged in terrorism. License plate 9MLK323, 9FMT031. License 46744, handicap, group stalking with a minor child walking right into Ulta Beauty. 8MAG603. Got a communication device in hand, 6SGY684, 9CCF187, 8XLU525, 6YAY374, 9AVE345, 8VVH493, 8STB255, 7TRG227, license 6BRT 619, license 6ZXW 690, 8JLT 743, 7KBY 983, 6NLT 641, 9BGX 993, 7RKT 776, 7VVA 328, 57326U3, CW32L21, that's paper, 9MJB 594, 08 PH24, that's again somebody with a purple heart, I believe, some sort of purple badge, combat wounded. They bring shame to the military services. They're demon possessed, engaged in criminal conduct that is un-American. Again, license 08 PH284. It's 1125. Again, license 08PH24, they're engaging in un-American criminal conduct. And then at the same time, you're juxtaposing that with the reality of many of the demons are affiliated with the Army, with the Navy, with the Marines, with the government, the terrorist organizations that call themselves police departments and sheriff's departments. It's equally egregious. Okay, this is revealing all of the iterations of corruption, of hypocrisy, of criminal conduct, un-American. Under no circumstances patriotic, 8LO9249, and then they're bearing on their license plates that which provides them no honor at all. It's bringing shame. It brings shame to military forces. 8SJF857, 9HSN973. While I'm documenting that third party state actor, a group stalker nonetheless, 9GVV299, and that will be prosecuted as a third party because they're not present unless they are wearing their uniform, engaged in some sort of service right now. That's going to be prosecuted as state action. But right now, I'm looking at nothing other than Medical Choice Group, Realty One Group Empire, Leslie Pool Supplies, all of which are group stalkers, and they're likely here under the guise of being a civilian, engaging in the malicious pattern of conduct, and none of this is free conduct. And so this is somebody that has a history with the military forces, which is bringing shame, more shame. As I'm prosecuting the state of California, this is bringing shame to this nation, and it brings shame internationally as well. 8SIB888, license 9ARK443. Surveillance in the parking lot, impossible light inside of my car while they're in front of my car. Yes, they're going to be prosecuted as terrorists, and they're unfit to be in custody of any minor children. If they're not natural born citizens, they're going to be deported. They will maintain a criminal record as a domestic terrorist, and the DOJ is going to make sure that everybody knows about it. They will not get any job or move anywhere before they are subject to such federal checks regarding what's on their record and who they are. License plate 303B5U3, 7PGN996, 8P1996, 8YZR400, 8UHD991. All right, I just wanted to make sure I got a good sample of this population that engaged in that documented act of P.O.C. That was terrorism. That was a sex offense. That was ongoing malice and impunity. And it is under the name of Target. Target is fully engaged in that pattern of conduct. It's occurring at Target. That's how you know. It's occurring amongst the patrons of Target. That's how you know. The fake sun is over Target. That's how you know that Target is directly engaged in and interested in that sexual violence and terrorism that I was subject to. All right, license plate 57. No, don't say hi to me, Satan. 57326U3. They want a group stalk. They're fearful, all right? They know that they're being documented, but yet they continue. There's nothing friendly about saying hi to me. That's a threat to my life. I represent the ordinary target individual that they're not being friendly to, okay? They think that they're winning them. They think that they are, and they are, ordinarily they are, intimidating them, 9HRB947, intimidating them, causing them to fear their life, fear their safety, fear everywhere that they're going, while the entity also engages in conduct such as following them around in helicopters. Everywhere that they're going, sirens are sounding, and those are the same entity that engage in harassing them. They engage in harassing them not only through their demonic conduct, but also through the presence of the state. And they're always fearful. What sort of encounter are they going to have to deal with today? What are they going to be accused of today while the entity is monitoring them? While today they're saying, hi, I represent the exception though. And by the way, there's nothing friendly about saying hi to me when you're threatening my life, group stalking me. All right, so I want to make sure that you understand that. Do not miss that ever. It is currently 11:28 a.m. This is again High Desert Gateway. This is the shopping center. It is, it looks like the actual property owner is Lewis Retail Shopping Center. They're going to be prosecuted for state surveillance. That's a snippet of the population that's engaged in surveillance by presence in alignment to the hotel that I'm staying at, where there's no sun over that hotel building while I'm showing it through the windshield of the vehicles. That's directly opposed to what could possibly be over the building of Holiday Inn. And that's just you isolating the universe. There's never going to be any sun in Hesperia over my head at any of these locations. If that was the sun over me at the Ovid Family Community Library, as I documented, over me at the Alvarado Gardens Apartments in downtown Los Angeles, over me in Las Vegas, Nevada at 12 in the afternoon, I'm walking out of Courtyard by Marriott off of Dean Martin in Las Vegas. It's not the sun. 6RUG153, DH70P38 paper, 6BRT619, RDMS4EV, a bunch of demons engaged in a massive sex offense that I prosecuted, but that I documented on video, and it's a prosecution of the state of California. License 6HQM601. All right, it is currently, again, 11:29 a.m. on August 26, 2024, documenting the people of the state at the adjacent property, keeping me under surveillance through the means of 76 gas station, through the Motel 6, 6UYK707, 7G38309, 9GKU993, 7902. And let me be clear, they were across the street. While I'm subject to that pattern of conduct and I'm documenting it, all of them are monitoring together. 7902 7V3, 9NHK882, 8PFN 770. 98019H3, 7HZL264, 52601Y3, 7G38309 are documented that they're engaged in surveillance, just stalking in the gas station, just standing beside their car, and that's surveillance. And the crime scene that surrounds them. That's identifying the criminal activity. And Motel 6 is fully engaged in a sex offense as well, while operating a business, a malicious guise under which the criminal misuse of a business is serving for federal prosecution with regard to engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring. That is revealing the unlawful pattern of conduct that you're engaged in, as opposed to the legitimate operation, which is free conduct, protected under the First Amendment, but it's not with regard to the specific environment. You're fully engaged in a malicious pattern of conduct, and you're helping the government. You are the government vicariously. The government hides behind the people, right? That is making a buck while conspiring to murder and kidnap someone. All right. That is what is so disgusting about this pattern of conduct. And so you will be civilly and criminally prosecuted. License 5YVU356, 9LUU310, 8KWG377, 7JWT384, 9DEV046, 9HMR302. And let's see. When I'm capturing pictures outside of the hallway of the hotel, and you see the fake sun that is outside of the hallway directly over my head, impossible light activity, as though the sun would be over that building, and directly over my head, over that hallway window of that building, and also that sunlight is coming from the sun that is above us, not adjacent to the window on the third floor of that hotel, Holiday Inn, and then shooting light horizontally through the window to appear on the floor. That's giving context regarding what the demons who are calling themselves housekeepers are doing around me, and it includes amplified audible activity. Psychopaths, the mentally ill, are stalking with amplified audible activity, as demonic as molesting me with engineered light, as you saw under the fake sun at Target. This is all the demonic pattern of conduct. You're going to prosecute this population for what they're continuously engaging in, which is serving for, again, the diagnoses of a population for the psychotic pattern of conduct. Their mental illness is no longer a secret. And suffering that mental illness and stalking somebody, that's a threat to your life. And like any other prosecution for a stalker, traditional stalking, the judge would analyze the facts, whatever not the target individual, but the person who's being pursued by the stalker would document. This is how you prosecute traditional stalking. You have to document it. You have to establish a pattern of conduct. And the judge is also going to, the judge, whatever, is going to assess the facts, and it's bringing into question, it's inextricable with regard to what is brought into the controversy, which is the mind state. It brings into question your deranged mind state, while the methods of stalking, what you're doing while you're stalking, the things that you're saying, what you're doing, what it is that you're communicating expressly and impliedly while you're stalking, that's necessarily bringing into the case and controversy your mind state. It is not different because the government, it is more so because the government is engaging in what is group stalking, which is demonic on its face. You have a population of mentally ill people who are group stalking you and thinking that they can snuff your life out and no one's going to know about it. By the way, this is what the entity has been doing for decades. Murdering people. Kidnapping them. License 9AGA975. License 8RZK405. 06397N3. 7ZPY118. Impulse light activity rippling through my vehicle while I'm just driving down the street, and that which isn't even the sun. This is understanding how it is the demonic. And that is not separate from the demon that you're looking at in front of your face. They're demons, and they're stalking you. Demons are not just present all around you. No, demons are stalking you. License TXD4045. That's Texas. Hurry up and get in your car. I'm going to get that license plate. 5RJF139, 6JJU958, 7TSM874. Starting their vehicles, which is the method of light activity, right when I drive over toward their cars. Engaging surveillance, hanging out all around their car the whole time. 9MEP129, 5PPA114, DD93L68 paper, 176SU handicap. I'm taking off their license plate in order to obstruct justice, driving this little raggedy Jeep Cherokee, trying to obstruct justice and doing so while they know that they're being documented. All right, license plate 5YVU356. And this is the cowardice. These are sex offenders, and this is the state. This is the state. This is the likes of the state that are stalking you and then trying to hide their identity while they're group stalking you. This is the pattern of conduct. So the entity is engaging in an ongoing pattern of conduct, 8LIR098. And let's see, they don't have a license plate on the front. They sure don't. Let me get this. Let me get this one. Alrighty, documenting the pattern of conduct, 6JJU958. These are the ordinary group stalkers. That's a threat to your life, okay? Any freak, pervert, psychopath, weirdo, which again is a demon-possessed person that doesn't want you to know about it, but literally convicted under the law, engages in Lord knows what type of criminal activity on a daily basis, is group stalking you. 9MZV253, and engages in very clear methods of trying to obstruct justice. No license plate anywhere on the vehicle. Okay, group stalking openly in the parking lot. Demons that are focused on you, act like, oh, we're just playing tic-tac-toe, being hippies in the middle of the parking lot. The moment that I start driving by them, all those demons hop in their car, they start their vehicles, they drive out of the parking lot, which is not only trying to avoid documentation, but they're monitoring the whole time. Remember, starting their vehicle, that's a method of stalking with activity. Demons know what you're doing as you're doing it. Starting the vehicle is a method of light activity, audible activity. The fake sun is moving over me as I'm approaching them, and their movement of their vehicles is also the elements of monitoring light activity. All right, Motel 6 is going to be prosecuted for that. Okay, but that's also the prosecution of the people of the state. They are one entity seeking to obstruct justice. This lawlessness is underway. This is stalking me in the hotel of Holiday Inn. This is what's calling itself a housekeeper. 9MEP129, license 6LZR811. Again, laughing at just it's the cowardice. This is an entity that engages in bullying innocent people that are defenseless. They're defenseless, and they don't have any laws that are protecting them. Their dignity, their privacy, their right to not be subject to this level of psychotic targeting. All right, and so you have literally conduct that is unheard of. It's unheard of. Directed light, a fake sun, this is unheard of. All right, so this is what an entity is surrounding an innocent American citizens with, and then engaging in what is the ultimate in gaslighting, pointing the finger at the targeted individual. They're the ones that are suffering from some mental illness. They're the criminal. They're the ones that are out of their mind. They're the ones that are mentally ill. Understand what the state is doing. This is why there are many, many routes to federal prison. This is why this domestic terrorism is going to be taken as serious, because it is as serious. People are losing their lives and their freedom. The government is masquerading as though it has authority that it doesn't have. You don't even have authority to do this. All right, and there's no legitimate reason to engage in it, even if it was the abuse of existing laws. It doesn't exist. This is outright surveillance, and it's out of the pit of hell. License 9JAJ863, 9DBT485, 8CQL128, 6CFN825, BWIKBO, Colorado. All right, and that fleeing the scene while I'm documenting with real-time knowledge of what I do as I do it, that's criminal conduct that Motel 6 is fully engaged in. 8WAG 946 1TBEUS2. License 7MMA 816 51851K3 7TTK 132 6HNL 126 6ZBD 787 5MJY 148 8UGZ 015. So let me show you the fake sun right over me at the Motel 6 across from the parking lot of my hotel where I'm at. Alrighty, and that is indeed on the record showing the stalking by Motel 6. And you're recognizing stalking by this commercial actor, by their criminal presence in the path, their criminally facilitating presence, and the people of the state. Remember, they're making money off of the people of the state that are maintaining presence at the hotel, all around the hotel, while Motel 6 is making money. That's recognizing surveillance by a commercial actor, not the lawful presence or business operation of a commercial actor. That's the identification of the criminal conduct that Motel 6 is engaging in, while the light source is over me at the entryway of Motel 6, which is an impossible occurrence. License Y377273, Louisiana. And I read that license plate. License 52601Y3. It is currently 11:40 a.m. capturing the image of the criminal engagement of federal group stalking and monitoring, which I stated. Remember, it's over the Motel 6 right now as I'm capturing pictures of the light source at 11:39 in the morning. Big picture analysis. It's in the same position at 6 o'clock, 5:32 in the afternoon, when it's over the same Motel 6, while the entity just keeps the fake sun on the opposite side of my person. You're looking at the same thing while it is at 11:39 in the morning over the top of my head, while I'm on the property of the Motel 6, while I'm on the property of the Holiday Inn facing the Motel 6. The fake sun is in the same position while it is on the facing the right side of my person, if you will. That's the same position that you're looking at it right now over the Motel 6. It's over the Motel 6 while the fake sun is on the right side of my person, maintaining perfect alignment with me. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're training your eye to recognize, non-movement. And then you're also recognizing the identity of a population that's group stalking. CZ99C58, paper. 20971A1, and that is the scientific impossibility that the sun would be anywhere near the same hotel at 11:39 and also at 6 p.m. at 5:32 p.m. That's the P.O.C. that Motel 6 is engaged in. And that's just as you document the people of the state by company name. 7CWD241, which I am doing because I'm going to civilly and criminally prosecute them. License 9CJS082. CN63Y81, paper. 9HEF743. Thank you. License plates 69542G3, 7XXG054, 16380W3, 5DJARR, 5L03924, 9LXH841, 69542G3. I read that one. License plate CN63Y81. License 720Z83, Nevada. You already know what the whole state of Nevada is doing. They're in California, group stalking. And if they're, again, a resident of Nevada, crossing state lines, coming into California, fully engaged in the criminal purpose to engage in surveillance, which is what Nevada is doing. You're coming into California, going into Nevada and California with the criminal intent to place another under surveillance, because that's what the state of California and Nevada are doing. So you're talking about, again, they're all being prosecuted for state surveillance and federal stalking. License 5ESH383. HTR 367, Minnesota. 6NFB 039, 8DUU 620, 8JBM 783, 7YZU 915, 8Z17832, 9ESX 787. I read that one. And this is TSC, Tractor Supply Co. They're a bunch of group stalking demons. 12543 on Main Street. That's a third-party facilitating venue where the fake sun is over me. And they're group stalking with the people of the state. License MVM Mary Victor Mary 3499, Texas. 8RVZ984, 9HCN045. All right, and you'll see that light source right over me at 1144. License plate FRYLAND 7RNY173. 8EDA 041, 7PVL 755, and 9ESX 787, in case I didn't read that one already. 9KLE 646, 8NZX 918, 8JBM 783, 57155 handicap. I think I read that one. 8TFJ 412, 6NSW 956, 6SXF 253. FedEx is group stalking on the roads and the highways over there. License 7FDP 527, 8TQG 201. And it is currently 11:44 a.m. All right, this is a documentation revealing everything that I documented at Target. All of this entity that's around in relevant position, they were all a part of that massive sex offense together. This is a population that's group stalking beyond the immediate environment where I'm at. I go around and I'm documenting more of the commercial actors and the people of the state and their license plates. Remember, the entity is engaging in conduct on behalf of via a population. So one demon reports to work, clocks out, and another is engaging in the same pattern of conduct, the replacement of a person that's engaging in the same demonic behavioral pattern. And in the same way, while the consumers, the patrons of the facilitating venues, they represent the same perpetually present entity. They're perpetually present. Light activity. This is a criminal conduct license 13335XF, and that is Quest. UtiliQuest, all right? I'm sure I documented those demons before. 7YTM 918, they're group stalking on the roads and the highways. They're simultaneously engaged in federal stalking as well. All right, light activity on the top of their vehicle is identifying criminal facilitation. License 11632R3. License 7UIV040, 9ATD 969, 9GZM 517, 7DTH 681, 6KSE 649. And I am at, again, KeyPointe Drive and Main Street. And this High Desert Gateway is the name of the plaza where I just documented a substantial amount of the people of the state. And that's small with regard to the millions of people that have engaged in this criminal pattern of conduct while I've remained at the same venue. Because the entity is doing it through a population, and millions of people have been engaged in this criminal conduct. That is a small ratio with regard, but it is justice. It is justice as the bigger picture regarding the ongoing P.O.C. as I'm documenting hundreds and hundreds of people who will be prosecuted and exposed as domestic terrorists. Stalking in the path. License 9GBB279 under the fake sun that's at the same entrance where it is at 7:20 in the morning. And license 9GBB279 is demonstrating demon possession. And that's criminal conduct that Holiday Inn Express and Suites is also engaged in and is criminally facilitating as a commercial actor. The light source that I just took a picture of at 11:47 in the morning, again, this is the location of the light source at 7:20 in the morning. At 7:49 in the morning, I'm looking outside of the windows of the same location where I'm standing right now. And it is a scientific impossibility that the sun, first of all, abruptly moved from being anywhere over the Motel 6. That's very specific placement of that light source remaining directly over me, particularly over my person. Also, duration of time, it's over this same venue at 7:20 in the morning. The sun, which is a gaseous ball of fire that is not going to be hunkered down directly over this covering where you saw the fake sun as I walked out this morning, and you saw impossible light underneath that covered structure. That's my vehicle. And you also are seeing the duration of time while I'm looking out of the windows where Holiday Inn is serving breakfast. And at 7:49, I picked that time in particular. 7:49, you're looking at the light source outside of the window of that outside of the window nearest the entrance, and I'm at the entrance itself, and you're looking at that same light source. Okay, the sun is not stationary like that. And this is not movement of the sun while I'm capturing it remaining over me at the same block of KeyPointe Drive and Main. And neither is the sun remaining stationary over one block of property over my head, and also at the same time in Las Vegas, Nevada, to be over Courtyard by Marriott and Dean Martin Drive, in any position where the state of Nevada can claim that they are not engaged in the same exact criminal system of surveillance, such that the sun that is remaining stationary and also documented real-time dynamic movement to maintain presence over me as I travel across state lines. And I am at Courtyard by Marriott after the 12 o'clock hour, and the fake sun is remaining directly over the top of my head. The two are impossible to happen at the same time. In other words, that's not the natural environment. It is identifying the crime scene where a demonic targeting system is underway by a government that does it through the people. So while the people are group stalking, the people of the state are prosecuting the state. While the state is engaging in group stalking, the state is prosecuting the people. It is 11:49 a.m. on August 26, 2024. And I have returned to what is the Holiday Inn, where the light source is parked and to remain over the same venue, in alignment to me, again, in alignment to my hotel window into the evening, where you're looking at the same Motel 6 when it's over my head at that Motel 6 at 11:39 in the morning, and you're still looking at it over the Motel 6 in perfect alignment with my hotel room after 6 o'clock in the evening, 6:48 to be specific, because I used my location in Kern County to juxtapose what's going on at this address, where the sun would never be present at the same location from now. Until from 7:20 as a matter of documentation until after 6:48. This is, like I said, the painfully obvious pattern of conduct, and the demon possession of the state of California is sticking out like a sore thumb. And there's just a lot of lessons that you can learn, and the truth that I'm speaking to regarding this criminal system. And then these are the demon possessed that are affecting the way you think, the way you're looking at the world, the way you measure yourself up. And you are defined based on how you were the one who created you. Even if you don't know him personally as your Lord and Savior, the God Almighty, there's only one. There's only one Lord God Almighty. And Jesus Christ created you, and he has defined who you are. He has numbered the hairs on your head. He has said you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and it is Satan using the mouths of demons, his puppets, that are forming the way that you look at yourself, the way you look at your life, the way you value who you are as a person. And it is a lie out of the pit of hell. And if you do not know your creator, then you're going to feed into that. And it is as simple as that. And it doesn't matter how well articulated it is on the news with regard to parroting that same demonic narrative. It doesn't matter. They're parroting the lie on the news regarding who you are and how you're supposed to see yourself and what you're possibly capable of accomplishing or doing, and what it is, wherever it is that you stand on their socioeconomic hierarchy with regard to your value as a person. It's a lie out of the pit of hell. It has nothing to do with what it is that you achieve in the natural. But I want to be clear. In Christ, you are able and capable and filled with the power to do that which is beyond your imagination, beyond what this world defines, beyond outside, by the way, of what this world defines as quote unquote successful. It's successful if you get a BBL. It's successful if you marry a rich man or a woman and you don't have to work and you're lazy. Okay, you are a despicable, black-hearted person, but yet you are successful because you have surgery and because you're defying what nature and having all the wrinkles ripped off of your face every other month. These are the things that they're defining as successful. It's a lie. And they don't even like themselves while they're acting as though they have the world at their... let me be clear. Money does provide a lot of resources. Money does not cure the sickness of the heart. It does not save your soul. And it does not cure the inherent unhappiness and the self-loathing that the demon possessed are not telling you about. These are the issues, and these are the same minions, the people of the state, that are telling you how you're supposed to look at yourself and what you're supposed to do with your life. It's a lie. It is all a lie. It's an illusion. It's all an illusion. And if you do not walk with Christ, if you don't know the truth, if you don't know the one who created you, if you don't know the one who was very real, he's so real, the Satan himself and the demons who he's using on this earth want to provide every manner of distraction away from him. Create so many obstacles even in your life so that you blame God, so that you perhaps are hostile to God, the God that you don't even know, the God who loved you and died for you. And he's alive right now. The fact that there is evil in the world, I am subject to it. This is not God's fault. Sin is prevalent in the world. People make their own decisions every day, and they're going to answer for them. 9GBB279 is Exhibit A. That's a demon. Stalking in the path with light. She made a decision to engage in that. And you're witnessing a real-time form of judgment with regard to her prosecution for the demonic, which is speaking to the malicious engagement in the state's pattern of conduct. It's not God's fault that people are wicked, that you may face things that are genuinely unfair. I'm not sitting and blaming God for this. He has given me the victory in it. And this could be the same testimony for any of those who know Christ. Satan is the one that wants you to hate God. He wants you to speak against God. He wants you to know nothing about him, walk apart from him. He wants you to walk in darkness. He wants you to walk in alignment to him and his purposes. And he wants to be God. He's a wannabe. He can't even engage in the magnificent creation that God has made. His little fake son remains over me. That's how much he worships God's creation. Those who walk with him. And you are listening to the lies of your enemy. All right. It is currently 11:54 a.m. And I'm back at, again, the facilitating venue where the entity is engaged in a P.O.C. Stalking a woman in a hotel room. That's a sex offense. P.O.C. All right, documenting what is harassment, specific acts of harassment by the entity that is hostile to its criminal engagement in conspiring to murder and kidnap you. And this is what the entity does, and again, in the specific environment where you're not having genuine malfunctions regarding your key card, especially the key card that the employee at the front desk who's going to federal prison provided this morning. The entity engages in this while you are going back downstairs so that they can monitor you. They are group stalking by the housekeepers on surveillance cameras in the hallway while the fake sun is directly over the top of the hallway window, like I documented, at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and in the morning the light source is directly over that same hallway window, a means of harassment, which is again relevant to how long they're going to federal prison when they engage in criminal acts of harassment while they're crossing paths. And I go back downstairs. This is P.O.C. It's currently 12:04 p.m. I got it, thank you. That's audible activity, light activity while they're in the hallway, group stalking. This is the same thing that the entity does, economy in Ontario, where there's no sun that's going to remain over my room 227, in Ontario, California, over that facilitating venue where the entity was stalking by helicopters, stalking by the entity that was engaged in criminal summoning, and the demons of the people that are the people that say were group stalking at that hotel where there was rising sun and setting sun at Economy and at 231 South Euclid Avenue. Heavily documented harassment via the key card for purposes of monitoring you. You have to cross path and go back and forth. And this is, again, the petty behavior of Satan, who's mad because of everything I just documented. So I'm going to document this. The conversation is audible activity, and they're all going to federal prison. All of them. This is a threat to your life. It's not merely going to get another key card. Alrighty. Being away from the desk, anticipating my presence, tracking your every step. This is P.O.C. It's currently 12:04 p.m. This is the same third party that was documented group stalking this morning, issuing any of the key. Hi. What's your name again? Jennifer. Hey, Jen. My key card's not working. The ones you gave me this morning?
Did you put it by any chance?
I sure didn't. Left it right in my pocket. No. I know you guys always assume that that's the explanation as to why it's not working. What time is it? 12:05? When I put it in the door slot, envelope thingy, whatever you scan it in, it didn't light up at all. And then it started to light up red one time, and then it didn't do anything at all. So it wasn't even working.
Okay. Give me a minute to reprogram your door then. That's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. It needs to be done because these are good until the 31st.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. Nobody else has been in my room today, right?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. And if there isn't access to the door, do the key cards record that?
Yeah, it records it.
Oh, okay. And the adjacent room to mine, because there's a door that's locked in.
Yeah, it's locked on their side and your side.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
Nobody would be able to get into my room.
No,
okay,
no,
of course not. Great. Okay, these are going to work then, or?
They should work. If it flashes red again though, well, then that means I just need to reprogram the door. So you just have to try it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Alrighty, that is P.O.C. It's 12:06 p.m. And this is Holiday Inn group stalking as I go upstairs. That's audible activity. Alrighty, this is how demons who are housekeeping at a facilitating venue maintain the elements of monitoring. All right, and they are doing so in the hallway where the fake sun is over this same hotel after 6 p.m. in alignment to my hotel room specifically. And that's how you're recognizing what is targeting behavior in that environment. And that's also impunity. Any and all of the people of the state that are not natural born citizens are going to be deported. So however many that come into the hospitality industry with regards to housekeeping while simultaneously engaging in state surveillance, you've lost your basis to be a citizen in this country anymore. So just want to make sure that they're all listening to that while they're engaging in the P.O.C. with impunity. It's 12:07 p.m. Alrighty, that's documented. That's a specific act of harassment. This is relevant to an entity, a government, a population of demons who are mentally ill. As they engage in specific acts of harassment, you're not genuinely having a malfunction of your key card. The entity is using a means of, first of all, it's relevant positioning, whether you, oh no, we really do need, they can really change, they can fix whatever. You're still subject to the P.O.C., which is a threat to your life. Literally, unfortunately, your safe harbor is presence inside of your hotel room. The entity is blocking you out of your hotel room to engage in ongoing monitoring where you are at any moment literally at any moment subject to any kind of attack, sexually, physically violent, while the entity is subject to at any moment being subject to any sort of sexual violence, any sort of harassment by the entity acting directly, any sort of terrorism through helicopters, criminal summoning. All of this is a threat to your life while the entity blocks you from being able to enter the hotel room. That's relevant to what is also federal stalking. So I just want to point that out. It's the absence of any coincidence, in the same way that there's no legitimate failure of internet. This massive surveillance system, it's removing all of that. The entity is shown to be an obsessed, hovering stalker. And there is no second where they are ceasing to engage in that stalking and maintaining every moment that you are doing anything. The entity is aware, and the entity is monitoring in relevant position to you and online, on communication devices, via communication devices. And it includes accessing your My Hotel Room, which again, Day Inn, Economy Inn, Motel 6, Baymont Inn, Ontario, California, Holiday Inn. All of the venues that I'm documenting the pattern of conduct are engaging in the same pattern of acts of harassment, which is resulting in what is an ongoing threat to your life, further exposing you to the state that is at any moment capable of and interested in physically harming you, terrorizing you further while you're out. The entity is engaging in that P.O.C, and that's an ongoing threat when that's relevant to the specific environment that you're also exposed to while they're blocking you out of your hotel room. And they're doing that while they're engaged in federal stalking. And they do these are criminal acts of retaliation while they are monitoring the documentation. They know I just captured a whole bunch of people. It's not slowing down. Even if they lock me out of my hotel room, which again, you're being locked out. It's not a genuine, oh, the key card just doesn't work. She just gave it to me this morning. It was not around any cell phone. Let me be clear. They maintain the ability to disable your key cards, whether it's touching a cell phone or not. Okay. So the entity is, oh, well, it must have, in the same way that, for example, Spectrum, oh, well, we've got a failure in the neighborhood. So that's why the internet's not working. And it just so happens to be the moment that I'm capturing the entity stalking, flying over my apartment in helicopter for 47 minutes, for example. This is the type of fact pattern that's resulting in what are criminal acts of obstruction of justice. What the entity is doing is relevant to what it also knows is being documented, and the two are not separate. It's not separate. And the entity is also maintaining control of those facts. So you're talking about creating a situation that's calling for Spectrum to go and report on whatever repairs they needed because of the genuine disruption they had to internet service to everyone in the area. And that's why the target individual didn't have access to internet for X amount of hours while you happen to be documenting the state's pattern of conduct. And let me be clear, Spectrum is a group stalker as well. So this is the entity that where you're living in a bubble, they're keeping you under surveillance, and they're also engaging in criminal acts of obstruction of justice. And they, in that cartoon environment, are creating the circumstances that are supposed to substantiate or support whatever it is that they're claiming is the reason for your inability to get to a quote unquote safe harbor, because it's actually not a safe harbor being inside of the hotel room where the entity is keeping you under surveillance. It's not exactly a safe harbor where, yes, you are publishing the evidence onto the venue of the internet, all right, but you've remained subject to that pattern of conduct, and you are liable, you are capable, the entity is fully capable and in a position demonstrating every moment that they're willing to take your life and then create information, a narrative in order to explain it away. That's the entity that's group stalking you. That's the reality of the threat. Okay, so that's the unlawful threat that you are subject to, and they can support it with whatever information that they want. It does not supersede ever the light source, the engineered light, and the criminal pattern of conduct that the people of the state are engaging in. They are affirmatively are engaging in their behavioral pattern, which is demonic, in that demonic environment. That's how you're recognizing intent. They're not accidentally or innocently or ignorantly in the specific environment. It is there because the demons surrounding their group stalking you. Not only is that logical, it's also the substance of the evidence. Populations, different regions, including a different state, the same exact P.O.C. That's the prosecution of the state of California and the prosecution of the state of Nevada, by the way. So it's currently 12:15 p.m. That's documentation of what is harassment by an entity that is, again, Satan is very petty. If you don't know the behavior, the personality of Satan, he's a wannabe fake. He wants to be God. He's not. He's a created being. He's created. You will never be God. God is before time. He always was, always is, always will be. Okay. He's not created by anything or anyone. You have the entity that engages in the personality of Satan is that which is very petty, which is a threat to your life when you have a bunch of petty psychopaths. They're petty with regards, and their engagement in petty conduct together over and over again ceaselessly equals terrorism. Okay, while they're engaging in what is stalking you, and doing so through remarkable events such as directed light, which is a fact. All right, being surrounded by that is terrorism. And while that touches your body, that's a sex offense. And it's terrorizing while you're subject to that sex offense, which you cannot even rectify. You can't reconcile that with what is that? What is that? How is this happening? And why is it touching all over my body? This is what the demons are doing on an ongoing basis. That mentally ill population engages in multitudinous acts of petty actions because of the fact that they are hostile, because you're telling that Satan doesn't like that you tell about him. Satan doesn't like that you tell about his tactics. Satan doesn't like that. Does not like that at all. And the entity engages in a very petty, I find this to be petty, especially with regard to, I'm going to put you in federal prison. I'm going to have you marked as a terrorist in the U.S. I'm going to make sure everybody knows that this is the work of Satan, that you serve Satan, and how to identify you from a mile away. Satan does not like that. And Satan engages in what is very petty in comparison with regard to locking me out of my hotel room. And so I'll get up close images of your face because you're going to federal prison. All right. And all the demons that are engaging in housekeeping at the facilitating venue, they're all going to federal prison. And hopefully many of them are not even natural born, because those are less terrorists that'll stay in this country. And that's the entity's conduct, the small retaliatory behavioral pattern of conduct with regard to federal stalking, knowing what it is that you're documenting about them while they continuously engage in it. All right. So this is, I just want to give context. This is in conformity to the P.O.C. The fake sun remains over economy N, where my cards are failing to be able to access my room. And I'm documenting. I am literally running circles around the entity with documentation. These are acts of retaliation, and it's a threat to your life. Okay. The entity does the same thing over and over again. And it's not a genuine failure, by the way. The entity maintains control of the key cards, whether they're around a cell phone or not. That's an explanation that they are giving in the natural, while demons are keeping you under surveillance and they're seeking to obstruct justice and harass you. Harassment as an entity costs a lot of money, and you can go to federal prison for harassment as an entity. It's not ordinary harassment. All right, it's currently 12:18 p.m. This is P.O.C.